I again request all participants, please turn on the video feeds if you can. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Hari Om. Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Yes. Can we recollect something that we saw last? So we can form the link and begin. Anybody? We are looking at qualities of the in the symbol of the mother. Yes. Anybody?
We saw about
Yeah. Okay. Anybody? Yes. Chitraji is saying something. Yeah.
generosity, goodness, and courage. These are the three qualities that we saw yesterday. And the true what actually these all mean and how they can contribute in a sadhak's progress is something that we learned. Generosity is carrying that. I think Shwetaji told yesterday the word benevolence, that is having that giving nature.
Yeah.
So that is something we saw about generosity and courage. About courage is an I think it is indispensable in most of the aspects. Whatever we do, right from actions that we perform or the decisions that we take. So courage is very important for that. So we saw how instrumental courage is. So these are some things that I recollect.
Right. Okay. So yes, we spoke about generosity and courage. Yes. Mamta ji would like to add something more? Yes, Jim? Yes, ma'am. You were saying something? There was one more quality that we covered, isn't it? Yes. Anybody? It was goodness. Yes. Am I audible? Okay. So yes, anyone can recollect something, what we saw about goodness. After that, we can enter into what is the next set of three qualities that we will be looking at today. Yes, anybody?
We
We
saw
found the link? Yeah. I'm not able to hear you. Yes, please. Yes, Jimmy. Is it just me, or I don't know, is everybody having some network lag, or you're not able to hear me? I can't hear clearly.
I can hear you, and I couldn't hear Rekha ji as well.
Okay. Yes. Um, Shweta ji, you're able to hear us? I think Shweta ji is having some intermittent network issues going on and off. Mamta ji, what about you? Okay, Mamta ji is also having some network issues. I think today everybody is having network issues. This is interesting coincidence. Anyway, if anybody can go live, you can just share something that you saw, and then we can move ahead to the next set of three qualities. What we saw something about goodness.
It is an important virtue, more aligned towards kindness as well, is what I think. Or I don't really know what exactly. I'm not able to recollect what we discussed on this alone. Um,
Yes.
just having that feeling of doing good also, and thinking good for others as well. So
Yeah, for the sake of getting something in return, should it be done?
no, no, no,
Goodness.
no. Something
Okay,
done
now,
without expectations.
yes. Namaste, Mamta Jack. I think you're able to hear me?
Namaste. Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
I'm having some problem with my
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, today, interesting coincidence is everybody, almost most of the participants are having network issues.
Yes,
But now, is it sorted? It's clear?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so we were looking at the three qualities. That is what we saw yesterday.
Mhm.
One was generosity, another was goodness, and then there was courage.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so now we are ready to enter into what is the next set of three qualities that are there in the symbol of the mother. Today's three qualities are progress, receptivity, and aspiration. So I will just share some of the quotes of the mother and we will deliberate on the same. Unless, of course, there is anything you wish to ask or share, and anybody wishes to add something, you are welcome, or we just go ahead. Should I start sharing? Should we begin? All right. So let us read the first quote. Try to enjoy doing everything you do. When you are interested in what you do, you enjoy doing it. To be interested in what you do, you must try to do it better and better. In progress lies true joy. I'll repeat it once more. Try to enjoy doing everything you do. When you are interested in what you do, you enjoy doing it. To be interested in what you do, you must try to do it better and better. In progress lies true joy. So, for this simple aspect for progress is to actually have fun in what we are doing. It's about enjoying. Something very similar has been shared in the Gita also by Krishna. And if we start enjoying, then we are able to do it better, and in that way, we are going to progress. Some of the best things that we have learned in life or in the fields which we have progressed most, what has been the secret for our progress? They have been liking it, isn't it? Somebody who likes to cook will become a good cook. Somebody who likes to draw and starts relishing the aspect of taking the art forward, taking the person ahead in the expression of the art, that person will become a better artist. A student trying to learn and loving the subject, say even physics, enjoying the process of learning and growing will allow that person to progress. So it's a very simple secret for progress that the mother has said. It is enjoy doing everything you do. And when you are interested in what you do, you enjoy doing it, and you have to keep trying to do it better and better. That is the secret for progress. And only in progress is there true joy. That is one important aspect which we have to see. Let's continue. It is true that my force is always with him to help him to do his work, but my force is essentially a work for perfection. So essentially a force for perfection. And to be able to allow it to work fully, one must have a constant will for progress in work. This is very interesting, this quote, because it is very much similar to Krishna's words also, because progress leads to perfection. Abhyasena, Krishna says Abhyasena and Vairagyena as a secret for Arjuna to become the best, to evolve. And it is something very similar. It is true that my force is always with him to help him to do his work. But my force is essentially a force for perfection. And to be able to allow it to work fully, one must have a constant will for progress in the work. So This is actually very beautiful. We have seen Maha Saraswati's role in perfection. But for Mahasaraswati to act, to work, for us to receive the grace of Mahasaraswati, there should be a will in us for progress, a will in us to receive what is required for attaining that perfection, to attain that force. We must have that will, and then it is going to help us if we are going to have it. And the will should be to progress, not once, not twice. It is constantly, all the time, we have to have that. It's actually quite remarkable how so many quotes, each quote can allow us to, um, really progress in life. Somebody who spent their entire life in sadhana, including the final moment. If you look at the life of the mother, including the final moment, the Sharira had also become frail, and yet it was for progress, for sake of the world, for the betterment, always aspiring. These are masters who have lived their lives by the example, by their teachings. It's so easy for us to follow. And when we get such words of these accomplished, rishis and rishikas, what do we call them? Divya Purush, divine beings. These words are actually not just mere words. They are like mantras for transformation. But for that, we have to really understand. It's so simple it is. If you look at it, the mother's words are very easy to understand. But the real challenge is to bring that into practice. Open yourself more and more to the divine's force, and your work will progress steadily towards perfection. Can someone tell me something about why is it necessary to open ourselves to the divine? I repeat this quote once more. Open yourself more and more to the divine's force, and your work will progress steadily towards perfection.
Oh, am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes, Shwetaji, you are audible.
Yeah. So, to me, it's like very visceral what you said because this quote of mother, because I feel that without the grace of the divine, there are so many things that I, as a just a mind body organism, wouldn't have been able to do. Like in so many ways, that strength comes from I feel to keep yourself open to the divine force because you're like I full of so much of limitations, emotional, sentimental, and ego. So many things, attachments. So for me personally, yeah, this has been like uh, very visceral that to open myself to the divine force because that really gives you strength and it's only grace that makes you move progress.
See,
Yeah.
yes, Ian, this is a progress towards perfection, isn't it? Is there is there a limit to perfection that we can achieve? It
I
is like a limitless
yeah, limit no.
firmament, isn't it? It's like the sky. It's something so vast and so beautiful. Everything we do, we can keep trying to perfect it better and better every time we take a step. And for that, as I think Shwetaji has said, opening up, that is important. Can someone just add a little bit more insight to what Shwetaji shared on opening up more and more to the divine's force? And so if we can open, does that mean we can also close ourselves to the divine's force? And what are the consequences of of that? Yes, Mamtaji?
So I think opening up means here, I mean, not to be satisfied with whatever progress you have made so far.
Okay.
So it's a continuous process of learning. Okay, so that's what I think she meant.
Yes, but now means we are open, but I can say I am open to the divine's force, but many times Do I really follow? Sometimes don't we close ourselves to the divine's force? Because the divine's force is always there for us to make us progress. And yet, there are times we don't progress, we
Mm-hmm.
don't move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Can we not say that we are closed at that time to the divine's force?
Uh, we are always close. It's just that
Okay.
we need to realize or understand that aspect. I mean that we are close.
Yeah, okay, we realize if we realize it, then only we can open, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
It is like
So,
unless you
okay.
realize, yes,
Mm,
see.
yeah. Okay. So basically, okay, it's a continuous progress. It's a continuous process, and the mother is always there to guide us. Okay, and
Yes, see.
then we need to realize our love or kindness and be open to learn and not satisfied with whatever we have learned. So we need to be
Yes.
more open to learning.
Yes. Because I think it was said, I think by the mother or share when one of them have made this quote. Rare is the one who hears the call. Rarer is the one who heeds to it. Meaning, call is there first of all for everybody, but everybody is like, hey, I'm busy in life. Not now, abhi nahi. We are close to that call. Then there are very rare few people who hear the call. They're open enough to hear. They're like, okay, fine, I have my sansar, I have my life, but this divine call is important for me, so I will listen to it. But then they are open enough to listen, but they are not open enough to
Yeah.
heed to the call. So the process of opening is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Arjun. He was open
Ha,
to the call, but not Duryodhan.
yeah,
Okay, that
yeah,
is
yeah,
why
yeah.
Arjun he got.
Same battlefield, isn't it? Same era, same
Mhm.
Kshetra only, Kurukshetra. One Kshetrajna in the Kurukshetra who is having enough light to light the entire Kshetra, and yet one Arjuna only who is open to that call. Beautifully said, Mamtaji. Shwetaji is adding something, isn't she?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think as uh, like just human beings, we tend to open and then close also. We offer one day, then again we take it back next day. Like this thing goes on. Yeah, I think with so much intensity and love you offer, and then after a few days you realize that okay, matlab, something is going back, and you also close yourself. You don't understand because you're vital beings, and I guess
Means when
that.
something goes wrong, we close ourselves. Is it, Shwetaji, because of our expectations? Is it?
Uh, No, I feel that like something in you is
Hmm.
just ready. That aspiration somehow goes away, and then personally I feel, yeah, you again like fall on your nose, you again dust yourself, you again, like, it's a journey,
Yeah,
and each time also when you move, you close yourself, or you don't understand it like, acha, I'm closing myself,
it's
it's just,
subconsciously happening.
it happens, but then the lessons learned are so much better. I wouldn't say lessons are like harsh, but your understanding gets deeper each time. The leap is forward. Then the progress, I feel works like that. Back and forth, and slowly you realize that you've come a long way. But like you said, progress is like unlimited. There's long, long way to go. But yeah, you have indeed come a long way. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Shwetaji. So it's like we have a tendency in ourselves, which without our knowing unconsciously, we close ourselves. Mamtaji is adding something. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So basically, what happens is that the more we know about our ignorance. I mean, we realize that we have to learn a lot.
We
So
need to open up.
yes, yes, yes. So maybe that is what happens. Okay, so
So we have to consciously keep trying to open ourselves. It's like, what is it that the divine wants? May I understand it truly? May I understand it perfectly? Because always this ignorance is there as a human. I have a tendency of closing my. Imagine a sunflower deciding to not turn towards the light. The sunflower does not do that, but
and
men
we
do that.
even Okay, we become aware of our ignorance.
Yeah.
The more we learn, the more
Yes.
also we get to know
Yes.
about our ignorance.
Yes. 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 And so sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes when expectations are not fulfilled, we suddenly that's also a part of ignorance only that we suddenly stop. Sometimes we aspire for something very ideal and then we are not receiving it, or we just lose our intensity for opening up continuously. So I think it is an important part of our sadhana, isn't it? To keep trying to be open to the will of the divine, even if it may not be something we like or we prefer or we choose. The divine's will is always supreme. If we are open to it, we will be able to find the silver lining even in the most difficult moment. In the darkest moment also we can find that light. But for that, it is we have to consciously have the tendency to open, because when we open, then we progress. When we are open to the divine, then we can progress. So, all right, I think with this we look at one more quote and then we will go to the next quality. This is also interesting. If men had to stop work when they are not perfect, everybody would stop working. It is in the work that we must progress and purify ourselves. Continue to do the work you are doing, but never forget that it can and must become better. I'll repeat it once more. If men had to stop work when they are not perfect, everybody would stop working. It is in the work that we must progress and purify ourselves. Continue to do the work you are doing, but never forget that it can and must become better. This is so beautiful. Again, I see similarities with Krishna in the Gita, where he says, it is all right, mistakes are all right when you're doing the work. Because initially, all actions begin with mistakes. But the beginning is not so important. The aspiration for to go ahead, to keep working again and again to reach perfection. That is how we get Siddhi. Siddhi is reached only through karmas, through actions, through concerted efforts, and one must not get carried away and one must continue to do that. So here, if even Krishna said, if I did not follow my duty, and if I did not lead by example, everybody would follow the same and stop doing their duties. And then the world would immediately get into a state of chaos or anarchy. Same way, if men had to stop work when they are not perfect, everybody would stop working, and then there's not going to be no progress at all. So we must progress, and it is in the work that we must progress and purify ourselves. This is a very beautiful aspect of Sri Aurobindo's yoga. This is something which is very essential, which needs to be understood by all of us, and also it has to be understood by everybody in our country as well. It is so important that sadhana can happen in our workplace. Sadhana, our work can become our sadhana. And when is that? That is going to happen because it is in the work that we must progress and purify ourselves. Use your work as an opportunity to purify yourself for your Shuddhi. And Atma Shuddhi also will take place, and the person will be able to go ahead. There's a nice Sanskrit Dharana mantra which is many times chanted before the Atma Shuddhakam is chanted. It has some very nice words. Chit Kalyanam Hridaye Nityam Sevya Seva Seva Karahitam Praptam Paramapadam Siddham Sahaja Sukham. Means Chit Kalyanam Hridaye Nityam. It should be eternally in your heart. I want to keep getting better and better. That when we have that tendency, then we can definitely progress. We have to keep doing our work, but never forget that it can be done better. Not only can it be done, it must be done better. That is what the mother says. Can a librarian do sadhana sitting in the library? Anybody?
Yes, no, of
Yes.
course,
If yes, how is it? What is the sadhana of the librarian?
to do the work intelligently and to get better and better in organizing the library and trying to find
Yes.
ways of helping others to find the right kind of books or like labeling them accordingly. Sadhana is unlimited.
Is it a menial work or low work?
No, dear.
Nothing, isn't it? And there's no work which is a low work. Every work is the highest work. A librarian can do it. A person at the petrol bunk who's just doing the simple job of filling petrol in the tanks of vehicles. That person can also consciously start doing that work better. That becomes a sadhana. A researcher can use the research as a means for sadhana. Perfectly following research methodology without any bias will allow you to experience what is vairagya, isn't it? In a way, putting personal expectations aside, personal anticipations, all of them aside, only can allow you to do a proper research. A singer can use the singing as a riyaz, and that sing for what? For sadhana only. Yes, voice has to get better, perfection should be reached, but the song must be experienced and lived. If the singer tries doing that at every time, the singing becomes sadhana. I have seen a young singer, his name is Divyansh Mehta, also known as Kake. His voice has become so melodious. It's like a golden voice. Entire life has been dedicated to singing again and again, again and again, focusing on trying to get better and better. And this is what our sadhana is. Every work, and there's no work which is higher, there's no work which is lower, but we can use that as a means for progressing. And that would allow us to reach what is the highest state of consciousness in our lives. So work is something which cannot be ignored. That is why Sri Aurobindo's yoga also talks about focusing on the works. Perfection in works is spirituality. Only we have, why do we have to progress? Because we have to reach that perfection. So that is exactly what our sankalpa must be. In our sadhana, if we have a sankalpa, my sankalpa is to reach that particular siddhi only of perfection in what I am doing. Whatever the mother has given to me as an opportunity, I will take it. I will take it and try to transform myself and make that work as perfect as possible. So with this, we go to the next uh, quality, which is receptivity. Again, this receptivity is also something which is um, connected with progress. Progress, perfection in work, all these qualities are interconnected. Just maybe one more quote we can just look at on the past, since we're looking at perfection. Mother has also written about progress and perfection in work. So here, you will become more and more perfect in your work as the consciousness grows, increases, widens, and is enlightened. It is that inner, what we can say, Chaitya Purusha, psychic being which is going to grow. You're going to become more and more conscious. As you become more and more conscious, you get that wisdom, you get that knowledge, you get that enlightenment, and your work also becomes more and more perfect. It's like a two-way street. Keep trying to progress. In the process of progressing, your consciousness also rises. One small question. Isn't sadhana being simplified since made so simple as if anybody and everybody can do it through all of these qualities? The way Mother has talked about all of these qualities, and isn't it making it so simple for us?
Yes.
Sometimes we get overwhelmed with the burden of doing a sadhana. Sometimes people get, oh, what sadhana I will do? How can I do sadhana? These are great people. Shweta ji is adding something? Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I said yes because uh, anything that we do with love, devotion, humility, and proper consecration, any work which is done with these, this essence is so easy, and you can do it like at home you can do it, like doing small
Yes.
uh, petty jobs at home also, like it is sadhana only.
When done consciously, isn't it? So the world becomes our playground. We get an opportunity to participate in the Leela of the divine, and every moment becomes sadhana only, isn't it? That's why Sri Aurobindo has talked about all life is yoga. If all life is yoga, every moment is sadhana only for us. So let's continue to the next quality, which is receptivity. Let us look at a quote from Sri Aurobindo here on receptivity. The receptivity, the power to receive the divine force and feel its presence and the presence of the mother in it, and allow it to work, guiding one's sight and will and action. It is so simple. Receptivity, the power to receive the divine force and to feel its presence and the presence of the mother in it, and allow it to work, guiding one's sight and will and action. So, for progress, what do we need? We need receptivity. Again, for receptivity, what is required? To become conscious of the mother. Feel the presence of the divine force and the presence of the mother. If we can do this and allow the mother to guide us, our will also, guide our sight, guide our action, then we are no doubt receptive. It is this quality of becoming receptive to experience the will of the mother, to experience the direction of the mother, to experience her presence in the action. This is something which can be done anywhere and by anybody. And if we go back in our lives, we look at certain moments. Some extraordinary things have happened when we have received some force. If we go little bit calmly behind the excitement of that particular moment, if you just go behind it and see from a neutral perspective, you will actually find the presence of the mother guiding you in those moments. It is the presence. You have to become conscious of it. And when you become conscious, then there is no limit to what we experience. Receptivity is so simple, as Sri Aurobindo has said, becoming conscious of the divine presence. It is the ability to receive the power and also recognize that the power is not different from the Divine Mother. Many times, what happens? I have received the power, I did sadhana, I got this siddhi. Ahankar comes in with that immediately. This force has come in. Don't you know how great I am? I have got vacha siddhi. Now I utter that you will suffer. How many people say that? It was very strange once when I had gone with my guru in the ashram, only one person had told, next 15 minutes, what will happen to you? You see, he told to my guru. For what? I don't know. I remember my guru smiling quietly. And this is not the power of if you are standing, you cannot use the power of the divine and think about it as a personal property and then use it for other things, isn't it? The mother herself, or Sri Aurobindo, never engaged in such petty things, isn't it? It is always about progress, about moving towards something divine, not using the force. And it was quite interesting. 3 weeks later, the person who had said, "You will know in 10 minutes," I saw that person with a hand fractured. Of course, we didn't meet him, we just greeted and went ahead. But that was in a force. A force was received, but it may not have been the right reception of the force because an individual intervention has taken place in that. If you understand it is the Divine Mother's presence, you will not have personal ahankar. You will not think you are owning anything. The force of the Divine Mother is always there with us. And allow it to be our guiding light. Allow it to be our will. Allow it to be our action also. That is the real thing that we must receive. Let's continue. One more quote of Sri Aurobindo. Then we'll look at the quote of the mother. Many times people who read both Sri Aurobindo and Mother's quote have this feeling. Sri Aurobindo's words take us more time, they give us, it's a challenge for us to understand. It is like Maheshwari's consciousness in Sri Aurobindo's words. But the Divine Mother's words are like Mahasaraswati's only loving Mahalakshmi's presence. That is what many people feel because the Mother's words immediately are received a little differently. But it is the same. The same love is there here also. Let us see what Sherbindo says more about this opening that we talked about. This opening is a throwing wide of all the nature on all its levels and in all its parts to receive into itself without limits the greater divine consciousness which is there already above and behind and englobing this mortal half conscious existence. What is this opening? This opening is just throwing wide of all the nature on all its levels and in all its parts to receive into itself without limits the greater divine consciousness, which is there already above and behind, and englobing this mortal half conscious existence. Our human existence is actually half conscious existence only. What Shervindo has said is not false. Are we truly conscious of the divine at every moment when we breathe, when we act, when we speak? We are not. But when we throw ourselves open, we get a chance. A chance to what? Chance for what? A chance to glimpse at the divine force which is super conscient. That divine force which is there behind the wheel of things, which is moving everybody, as Sri Aurobindo, as Sri Krishna in the Gita says, Brahmayan Sarvabhutani, Yantra Rodhani Mayaya. In this Maya, all the people are moved like yantras or devices. Everybody is like wearing like a top continuously, not knowing that they are being moved around by the forces of the divine, because that is the nature of our existence. We are half conscious because we are lost in Maya. Our ability to throw ourselves open to the divine in all levels, at all times, that in all parts of our being. That is something which is what we should be doing. It is already there. That consciousness is there. We just have to open it. And if we are able to open, that is receptivity, being able to open. Something horrible has happened in my life right now. If it and I am disturbed because I am not receptive to that higher force which is working something behind the wheel of things. Something is taking place by the divine will. Just because I am not receptive of it does not mean that it is not there. Only if I can become conscious, then I'll be able to probably even enjoy the working of the divine. I may get that glimpse, I may get that sight of that full consciousness. Shwetaji wants to add something? Yes, please.
The same thing, the quote.
A little louder, Ji. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Now it's
Yeah.
better. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that your explanation just matched what I was feeling after reading the quote because it just brought so much expansion just reading it. You felt
Yes,
I
Ji.
so expanded because like if it just brought that clarity that uh, nature if I think I'm this person and I feel okay, this is my nature, but that quote just allows us to expand and at every level to feel the nature which is our possibility. So that came to me like very spontaneously that how much more is possible even to perceive like as a person. Yeah. So
Yes, Ji. The limit is endless, isn't it? For our perception.
yeah, absolutely.
And there's
And
such a joy, the true joy as in progress lies true joy, as the mother has said. So as we progress closer and closer to that supreme divine consciousness, we are going to progress closer and closer to that Ananda, isn't it? And that Ananda is going to engulf us. Sri Aurobindo in his Upanishad, the Aurobindo Upanishad, it's so beautiful. It's like He says this is just the Krida of the divine. It is the Leela of the divine. But we get trapped in our attachments. We get trapped in our attachments, and then that makes us get entrapped in Maya. So we don't experience the real play which is taking place. So I think, as Shwetaji said, it is that expansion of our consciousness that is required for us to move ahead. Let's look at a quote from the mother. It's always assuring to see the quote of the mother, especially the ones like this. My love is always with you. If then you do not feel it, it is because you are not capable of receiving it. It is your receptivity that is lacking and should be increased. For this, you must open yourself. And one opens oneself only if one gives oneself. Surely you are trying more or less consciously to draw the forces and the divine love towards you. The method is bad. Give yourself without calculating and without expecting anything in return, and then you will become capable of receiving. I repeat this once more. This is an advice to a sadhak. My love is always with you. If then you do not feel it, it is because you are not capable of receiving it. It is your receptivity that is lacking and should be increased. For this, you must open yourself. And one moment, yes. For this, you must open yourself. And one opens oneself only if one gives oneself. Surely you are trying more or less consciously to draw the forces and the divine love towards you. The method is bad. Give yourself without calculating and without expecting anything in return, and then you will become capable of receiving. How do I become receptive? How do I become capable of receiving? The mother has given the key. The first one is most beautiful, and that should be enough for us, isn't it? My love is always with you. This is an assurance which is enough, isn't it, for every seeker, every follower of the divine. As Krishna in the Gita says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paripasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham or mokshayishyami mashucha elsewhere as he says. Do not worry, I am there for you. This is an assurance, the assurance of the divine protection, the divine hand. And if we just hear it, so if we are really, it's not just reading it, if we feel that the love of the mother is always with me, do I need to worry about anything? Jैसे जाको राखे साया मार सके ना कोई. Who is there who is going to hurt me? What force is there in the world that is going to make any difference to me? So that is our number one thing. If we know my love is always with you, but then we do not feel it. Why do we not feel it? Because we are not capable of receiving. Why are we not capable of receiving? Because our mind is busy calculating. I want to receive this force. I want to get the strength. I want to get the light. I want to experience that immaculate divine love of the mother. That's why I'm going to do this. That's why I'm going to do that. All these human efforts are futile. The mother has told the sadhak, this is bad. This approach is itself wrong. Fundamentally, it is wrong because you cannot receive without surrendering, without giving yourself. It's like if a mind is already full, can you fill anything else into it? It's like a glass that is full, nothing can be poured. But if the glass is empty, anything can enter in. That is how a sadhak must be, like a sponge, which can absorb everything. It's like, yes, I have nothing with me. I have no personal demands. I have no personal calculations. I do not expect anything in return. I am just going to give myself. I am the ahuti of the divine. That is the beautiful aspect, isn't it? When you have offered yourself to the divine, what more is required? Nothing else, is it? And that is what makes a person receive, is what the mother says. Without any expectation, if you are going to offer yourself, then only that flame also will be lit inside, isn't it? That jyoti, that light, the God or the divine will directly come and raise that soul, the soul that has surrendered. It is not somebody who is doing surrender in bits and pieces and still calculating and trying to personally achieve certain individual personal desires. That's of no use in sadhana. Why is it of no use? Because our personal desires are limited. Limited by our own limited existence, limited by our own limited ways of thinking, limited by our own limitation of our senses, our indriyas, our limited lifespan, our limited ways. So many things limit ourselves. So that is why we have to, if we want to experience the unlimited, if we want to taste what is this ethereal infinite, we will have to rise beyond our limited self. The simplest way is to give ourselves to the Divine Mother, assured that, yes, her love is there. It is enough, nothing more is required. Let us look at one more quote, and then we move into the next, that is aspiration. So, it is not your work to light the fire. As I told you, I am always lighting it. You have only to open yourself to receive it and tend it with your goodwill. What more do we ask for? Every day in our homes, many times in the Devalaya, don't we go and light a lamp for the divine? Many homes, many traditional households, that is a practice. Every day, it is when they sing that different stotras along with that, different mantras, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, that is a symbolic aspect of moving towards light. So this aspect, it is not your work to light the fire. As I told you, I am always lighting it. You have only to open yourself to receive it and tend it with your goodwill. Here the mother says, better you don't have to light the fire. I am going to come and light the fire inside of you. It's not meaning that you don't do the Kriya. If you're doing the Kriya, it is a wonderful thing, consciously do it. But we must understand that if we are real sadhaks, real followers of the divine, we must protect this fire that is being lit in our soul by the Divine Mother. Our job is to ensure it grows further. We have to be receptive of it. We have to open ourselves, receive it, and tend it with our goodwill. It's like protecting something very precious that is given to us. So this little grace, moments of grace come. These are all attempts by the divine to make us more open and light that fire inside of us. So with this, we are now ready to move into the next quality, that is aspiration. Aspiration is also connected with a flame. Can anybody give me some, since we talked about lighting and the flame of aspiration, can anybody tell me something about aspiration and connection with the fire? Anybody? Do
Yeah,
you see a connection?
yeah, because with aspiration, you just move higher and upward, and with flame of fire, just say, like, everything is offered and everything is offered for purification. I think with aspiration also in your heart, uh, everything moves upward and higher for purification, and each time you aspire for something better, each time you aspire for progress, uh, that fire, you feel it in your heart. Okay, I'm offering this too, this too. Now I'm ready to offer this also. Okay, now, so the readiness keeps increasing to offer more and more for purification. So,
Yes, yes. And Isn't this what the Rig Veda's first sukta is also about? The flame of aspiration. Agni Sukta. It begins with Agnim me purohitam yajnasyam devaritvajam hotaram ratnadhatamam. Agni is also the doer. Agnir hota kavikratuhu satyaschitta shravastama devo deve bhiragamata. Agni is called that same flame of aspiration within a human being. That is the aspiration inside of our hearts, which makes us rise, isn't it? Like the flame, we also rise because of that aspiration. When that fire is lit, I want to become better. I want to progress. And that aspiration allows us to take us higher. In the Vedas, Agni, that flame is said to be the flame that connects man to gods and that invites the gods to descend on the earth to bring about a transformation. It's like he's said to be the messenger of the aspiration of man, that is called Agni, and that aspiration is the flame. And let us see what the mother has talked about aspiration. Beyond words, above thoughts, the flame of an intense aspiration must always burn, steady and bright. My love and blessings are with you, is what the mother says. I repeat it once more. Beyond words, above thoughts, the flame of an intense aspiration must always burn, steady and bright. My love and blessings are with you. Such a beautiful, you can say, affirmation given by the mother for us. A kind of a, it's something should give us confidence. We should feel ready to take that leap. We should feel ready to rise higher because we are being protected by what? By the truth. We are being protected by the love and the blessings of the Divine Mother. That should allow us to, feel that strength to take us to that higher plane of consciousness. Again, if you see the Vedas, they talk about the fire. Even the Upanishads talk about the fire. In the Bhagavad Gita, this is the Vaishwanara, that is the universal flame which is present everywhere. It is inside of everybody's hearts, and that is the flame that allows us to take leaps and rise and purify ourselves. How does the flame work? The flame burns everything, isn't it? And that is the flame of aspiration also leads to flame of knowledge inside of us. We receive that. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam bhasmasat kurute Arjuna is what Krishna tells. This knowledge will burn all ignorance to ice. So we should have that, isn't it? But for that we get afraid sometimes. And that fear is not necessary. Because the blessings and love of the mother are there, then we need to have nothing to worry because we have the protection, we have the blessings. Who is there who is going to oppose? Who is there who can stop the divine force from rising? If we have that strong aspiration, then we can rise, and it should be intense, is what the mother says. Only then will we rise, isn't it? A young Nachiketas was banished by his own father. What did he do wrong in the Kathopanishad? He just tried to tell, he tried to speak something what was Nyaya. He tried to speak what was just. A yagna shouldn't be done like this, father. Whom are you going to give me? This his father was doing a yagna and offering cows which are very old. Cows who have eaten all the grass and they are not going to be able to give any milk. That is not a dana, isn't it? So, but his father was himself having some certain high opinions about himself that he knows everything. So the young son tries to respectfully differ and say that this is not the way. This angers him. And he says, he asks him, when he asks, whom will you give me now in the yagna as an offering? He says, I'll give you to Yama. And that young boy, without any fear, he says, maybe this is the divine's wish that I have to reach the abode of Yama. Let it be. Without a single thought of fear or worry, this young boy, Nachiketas, rises by his consciousness to the Yamaloka only. And there, the entire Upanishad talks about the dialogue between Yama and Nachiket. Nachiket's dialogues, words, and intense aspiration to reach a truth which even the gods have not reached in the Swarga. This boy, he makes Yama also quite proud. Yama says it is an opportunity for a teacher to find a student who is so receptive. And he says, Beta, I will give you more than what you have asked. And that becomes the name of Nachiketa Agni, the flame of Nachiketas, and this will be remembered eternally. Just look at it. One young boy's intense aspiration makes him rise towards that, and Nachiketas comes back also to the earth. He is not dead. He receives that life, like how Savitri also was able to bring Satyavan. So, this aspect of aspiration, it has to be intense. It has to be intense, otherwise, tamas of the world will enter into our life. Ignorance enters into our life, and we become satisfied with the slight aspiration. That is why Mother has told it has to be an intense flame of aspiration. It must burn. It does not, and this beautiful. It has to be burning, and also it has to be steady. Because if it is in just bursts, it's of no use, isn't it? Imagine trying to boil water and you for 10 seconds you turn on the stove, turn it off. Again try 10 seconds and again turn it off. Will the water boil? No. You need to at least 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Let that stove burn steadily. That flame of aspiration also should be like that, continuously at all times. Always. All times of the day that aspiration must go on, because then only can one really rise. This aspiration is very important for us to rise because it can make Nara reach the loka of the Narayana itself. The rising, the difference between man and God can also become lesser and lesser to a point that man will evolve to the status of what we call Godhood. That is the aspiration. And it is said, no, low aim is a crime. Then why do we have a small aim? Let us aspire for the greatest. Let us look at another quote of the mother. In the silence of the heart burns the steady fire of aspiration. So, again, the steadiness of the fire is required, and for that fire to be steady, the heart must be silent. We cannot have an anxious heart having a steady aspiration. Anxious heart will only have unsteady aspiration, which will not be continuous. So, first, our heart must be steady. The aspiration should not be on the level of just an emotional or vital. It has to be something which is deep. And in that silence, we can allow that fire to burn in the heart. Keep the fire burning steadily and wait quietly for the sure result. I repeat it once more. Keep the fire burning steadily and wait quietly for the sure result. Meaning, just because I have the aspiration does not mean I will immediately get the result. But the mother has written something to wait quietly for the sure result. What does this imply? Anybody?
I think because the aspire and this fire of purification, it churns us, like like we have to also go through moments where it feels, you know, the, oh God, this doesn't feel easy. So, but if we are just silent at that time, we just calm, and that faith, that steady faith which is there, it helps us to just be patient, calm, and have the trust that, this aspiration will lead me to a progress, and then you see it also. So that stepping back, every time stepping back and going into this witness consciousness and going through the churning, I think that helps. Yeah, that is what I feel. This, uh,
Yes, Shwetaji has added something beautiful, witness consciousness or the Sakshi Bhava, observing such things patiently because results will not manifest all the time. You have to be patient for the time. The Kala is also required, isn't it? I may think this is the right time, but if the divine has a higher will, and divine's time is important, or is it my time? My time is nothing in front of the divine's time. So I should learn, I should have that aspiration which is intense. It has to be steady, but there should also be coupled with patience. What about the results? Well, I'm not supposed to worry about the results at all, isn't it? My approach is never driven by results. And yet, the Divine Mother, the loving Mother, has given something very special. She says, wait for the sure results. Results are sure. So, anybody on the spiritual path, anybody who is doing the righteous thing and seeking the divine, nothing is certain than more certain than the certitude of victory. This is also something the Mother has talked about. It will be there, as in the Gita, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Mitra Partho Dhanurtara Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhuti. He says this is Shri Vijaya is definite. Where there is the divine, where there is the divine's force, and where there is a receptive Arjuna, wherever there is a receptive instrument of the divine, where this dual combination is there is nothing certain but the certitude of victory, certitude of progress, certitude of prosperity. All of this is there. It is means it's 100%, meaning you don't have to, there's no other, and it's like it's clearly written. It is there. But our job is to have that patience because without that, our flame will never be steady. A wonderful question was asked by a sadhak. Any suggestion? The mother asked about what? The sadhak says about sadhana. The mother writes patient aspiration, Shraddha and Saburi. How simple it is. You have to have the Shraddha and you also have to have that perseverance to see it through. Can't be impatient and suddenly lose our cool just because we didn't see certain results. Understand, all will happen in His time. In the divine's time, all shall take place, all shall manifest. If we experience absolute unrighteousness also in our life, we should not let that flame inside stop burning intensely. Because many times in life, moments come. These are not moments created by the divine, but the undivine forces which are trying to prevent the manifestation of something that is beautiful and something that is right. So instead of getting carried away or disturbed in these moments, just summon the patience and yet keep that aspiration on the inside intense and yet steady. What has to happen will happen, and at that time you will be smiling and enjoying the love and the blessings of the divine. Be able to see and experience. For that, at least we should have the patient aspiration. Like we talked about yesterday, I think, about Shabari, isn't it? She had such a patient aspiration to see Sri Rama. तथैवाकरवं राम त्वद्यानेकपरायण प्रतीक्षा गमनं तेद्य सफलं गुरुभाषितम्. She exclaimed, "Oh, my Guru's words have come true. Raghava, you have come." So happy she was, and yet so patient, and such a beautiful, steady aspiration. That is something we must always have in our hearts. We look at one more quote, and I think it is time for us then to complete. Psychic aspiration, constant, regular, organized, gentle, and patient, at the same time, resists all opposition, overcomes all difficulties. So elsewhere, the mother has talked about this flame that it is steady and this flame does not burn only. It is not something which is going. It's that gentle aspect is so beautiful. This flame which is inside, it will not harm anybody. It is a flame that is beautiful. It is a divine flame which is not going to harm. It is going to illuminate only. It is going to make a person realize. It will not burn. That is the aspect of gentleness here. Psychic aspiration, constant, regular, organized, gentle, and patient at the same time, resists all opposition, overcomes all difficulties. So, this aspect, this aspiration, it should come from within, from the psychic being, from the Chaitya Purush, must come from within. It should be constant, it should be regular, it should be organized and gentle. What will it do? Well, it will resist every opposition and overcome every difficulty. The biggest of biggest opposition. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed at times, isn't it? When we are dealing with the forces as individuals, sometimes we get disconnected from the glory of the divine mother's powers. When we are sometimes overwhelmed with circumstances in life, we don't understand what wrong are we doing, why is it that we are experiencing all these questions come in, and that time if we allow these questions to take root in the heart, then you are going to it's like pouring water on the fire that is burning inside. Instead, at all those times, we just have to have that little amount of patience. We have to start becoming organized. We have to become regular. We have to constantly have that psychic aspiration. It should be gentle and patient, and then watch all forces, no matter how formidable they are going to crumble. They are going to fall. That is something, and that is important for us to aspire. It is, unless we aspire, we will not receive. Unless we aspire, we will not achieve also. Progress also is not possible without aspiration. And that aspiration will only allow us to rise in consciousness. So I think with this, we are ready to complete. But before that, we have to also look at the symbol of the mother, the colors that we saw today. Just give me a moment. And just share the screen. Yeah. Yes. Can we see the colors for progress, receptivity, and aspiration? If you look at the shades, from red, there's now a slow movement towards yellow. Progress, receptivity, and aspiration. The yellow also of aspiration is bright.
Flame, flame of
Yes, red.
aspiration.
Yes, it's a
For
flame,
us,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yes, yes. Anybody else would like to add something? Otherwise, we are ready to look at our points for take home. Um, yeah, just one thing I would like to add is we just saw so far, we've seen how important sincerity is. We have to have that perfect sincerity. That alone gives us peace. That peace will allow us to see an equality everywhere, that will make our heart a little bit wide. We will not discriminate among people who are close or far. Everybody you are going to see with equality, and that equality is also going to bring about generosity. It will make you have your innate goodness, because everybody has that goodness within, but that is always hidden because of so many lower human natures. Those human natures will be no more troubling us, because our goodness will come to the fore, will develop the courage to protect and stand by what is right. And if you see, that courage will only allow us to take certain steps which will lead to our progress and the The magnitude of our progress is directly proportional to the magnitude of our receptivity. And again, our receptivity is directly connected with the strength of our aspiration. And the flame of aspiration should burn steadily. It should be something which is also accompanied with patience. And that is where we are seeing here. Next set of qualities are perseverance, gratitude, and humility. Let us, I think with this, I'll stop sharing. Let us call it a day. Before that, I request participants to share some take home points which will be useful for all of us. Anybody? Yes, please.
Yeah, for me, the take home is aspiration. Like
Okay, Ji.
because yes, because again, like you said, each one is directly proportional to the other. Receptivity is needed for
Yes.
aspiration, and hence we will progress. And I realize that my reflection is that see, virtues are so different from qualities, because I feel that virtues can also be devoted to the falsehood. The
Yeah.
virtues are there, but they are sometimes, unconsciously you don't know, and I think that's how the journey begins. That virtues are there, but uh, आपको पता ही नहीं कि आप falsehood में हो, so that thing, aspiration helps, and how you move from uh, even virtues, like earlier to, like like aspiring and just offering the negatives in you. It starts from there, then you understand, okay, virtues are also like based on falsehood, so many virtues. So uh, उसको भी आप offer करते हो, and you aspire for better. And I think aspiration, that flame of aspiration, uh, ultimately takes you to a sense of feeling empty, so that now, whatever needs to fill inside me, the divine can decide. So giving up
Yes.
the flame of aspiration is the journey of progress. I think it's beautiful, and you can just keep aspiring. It is
Yes. And
never.
intensity is important, isn't it? Intense aspiration. That is something which we must have inside. We cannot let the aspiration lose its intensity because of circumstances and situations in our life. Because the situation and circumstances will always try, because there are forces, like there's a divine force consciously available. There is an undivine force, like in the Gita, Devi and the Asuri forces. So the undivine forces are always there to create hurdles or delay the manifestation of the divine. That is all. They cannot prevent, but they can delay. And for that, preventing that delay by these forces, we should have that intensity in our aspiration, which is unaffected by anybody on the outside or anything on the outside. Yes, Chief. So thank you, Shwetaji. Anything else anybody would like to add? Otherwise, we conclude with a Shanti mantra.
About progress also. I
Yeah.
mean, in order to progress and reach the perfection, state of perfection is the highest aim in whatever we do. So, in order to go to that state, we have to enjoy what we do.
Oh,
So,
yes.
uh,
That's so beautiful, isn't it?
yeah,
That makes life also joyous. No, it's no more dry, you know.
yes.
Sadhana should not make us a person, it should not make us dry and lose the enjoyment. Absolutely. Yes. Mamta
And
is
the
adding something?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Chitraji finishes and then we'll go. Yes.
I
Anything
wanted
else?
to add to what Chitraji said. So basically, it is, I mean, it is through our work that we progress and purify ourselves. That is the main take home for me. So
Yeah.
whatever, every action, every challenge that every difficulty, that I mean, they become an opportunity for us to grow, or to opportunity for our consciousness to grow.
Yes, Ji. Yes. It's an opportunity to grow, is what Mamtaji said. Yes, Chitraji, you were adding something else, is it?
Yeah, to progress and even to be, yeah, to progress. So the divine's grace, the mother's grace force is always there. So it is up
That
to
is
us.
a
Yeah.
It's like it is like when the mother is there, the child knows that the mother is there, so the child can go running in the ground, isn't it?
Yes.
Freely, because the mother is watching. You can turn around and see, ah, mother is standing there. All right, the heart is free to do all the antics that it requires to do to progress. And for that, aspiration must be there. The aspiration should be there. So, yes, with this, we are ready to look at the next set of qualities. Again, aspiration is also connected with perseverance. Mother has already told us patience is something. So, let us see this perseverance. And then come the interesting aspect of other two qualities. If we see it is gratitude and humility. These are also how powerful is humility, how powerful is gratitude. They're all, most of the time they are very underappreciated. They are least important in the list of what people make about what qualities they need to have. It's overlooked so many times, but if you see in the order of progression, these are taken, they're not last because they are least important. They're just in the sequence of a growth. As we rise, as our sadhana increases, these qualities also tend to increase. Whatever gratitude and humility has to come. So I think with this, we are ready to conclude with the Shanti Mantra and we will look at the other three qualities tomorrow. Yes, please. Om. Mamba Lalita Devi Jagadambe Janani Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Mamba Lalita Devi Tvamananda Sagari Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Anyway, Sundar Melama, we will see the next three qualities. Yes, please. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, I was adding something, is it? No. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you.